Hi class, welcome to IS250. I am Professor Fahmi Jalani. Today we taking a look at chapter 10, Inheritance. So like the title says, we will learn more about inheritance between program, not between wealth. Okay. So in 10.1, we have derived classes. Basically, commonly one class is similar to another class, but with some addition. For example, you have a store inventory system might use called class called generic over here, and that has item name, item quantity. Okay, but for the produce fruit, okay, we have produce item, item name, item quantity, okay, and expiration date. Okay? Okay. And the derived class consists of the one in purple here, expiration date, and get expiration, set expiration date. Okay. Moving along, inheritance technically is derived class or subclass that is derived from another class called base class, okay, or superclass. Okay. Here any class may serve as a base class. We done that in the lab. Um, the derived class is said basically here to inherit from the base class, so it's the basically the main big class. Okay. I know you guys are a bit confused. Later we see some example, and an object declared for derived class type has access to all the public members of derived class. See? Right. So derived class here is declared by placing a keyword called extend, right? Here. Right. So this is basically the base class in the program. 10.2, we have access by member of derived class. So how do you access? Basically, the member of derived class here have access to public member of base class, but not to the private member. Okay. So you're only allowed to access the public class, okay, but not to private class. Okay. So we have the protected member access. Say, if you recall from the previous labs, classes could be categorized by public and private. A third one is protected. Okay. And other classes in the same package. Okay. Here, basically the example, a member class called specific as protected. Okay. The name is protected. 10.3, we have overriding member method. Basically, explanation here says that annotation is placed above method override a base class method, so compiler verifies that an identical base class method is set. Okay. So here we see the overriding method here. Okay. this is where the restaurant class extend to the business class. Okay, you have the output. 10.4 is object class. Okay. In Java, we have the built-in object class, basically serve to all other classes but not have a base class. So two common method define toString and equal. ToString here returns string representing the object. Okay, by default, okay, this is by default. Let's example. And equal compares an object to other object and returns a true. Okay, else it returns a false. Okay. 10.5 polymorphism refers to the program that behave to execute depending on the data type. Okay. Here you see the program is being called, okay, from the base class. Basically, this is the inventory, item inventory, and the data is replicated. 10.6 array list. We've gone through this before in our labs. Basically, all classes are derived from the object class. Okay, so we do take advantage of the polymorphism to create a collection. Okay. So this is array list. Right. 10.7 generic. This is basically object oriented. Getting more in depth onto the dynamics of Java. We recall that classes basically encapsulate data and behavior, creates object. Okay, some also features inheritance, allow one class to be based to another class. Okay, abstract classes, basically a class that guide the design of subclass, but cannot itself instantiate as an object. Okay, let's take a look at some example. 10.8 abstract classes. So in abstract method, basically is a method but not implemented as a base class. Okay, thus you allow to derive must override the function. Okay, so you use the abstract class as a subclass. And so also abstract class cannot be instantiated as an object here. And lastly, the concentrate class basically is not abstract and hence can be instantiated. Okay. Let's take a look at 10.9. You will get hopefully you get a clearer picture. This is a versus has a relationship. So basically the concept of inheritance is commonly confused with the idea of composition. Composition is the idea that one object may be made up of other objects. So in this example on the left we have child info and mother info. Okay, so mother info class made up of first name, children name. Okay, whereas the child info would inherit is a has a relationship. Okay, if you compare to inheritance, you have the extend function here, as where the mother info and the person info is related. Okay. 1010 UML, Universal Model Language. This is basically a software design where most programmer would visualize the program first prior coding it. Okay. We have structure design, static software, okay, behavioral method, behavior diagram, okay, how the algorithm gonna flow. Okay. Here's some example. The class name, you declare the class name first, and then you have a member variable, okay, in terms of circle, radius, center point, okay, right. So that's how you design a program should be. And last but not least, interfaces. Basic interface is basically another mechanism for programmers to state that class adheres to rules defined by interface. Okay. So the drawable and drawable ASCII is being used here, right? So that's pretty much it for chapter 10. If you have any question, please feel free to email me or just drop by my office for an appointment. Stay safe. Thanks. Bye bye.